Sup, my name is Rui for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, and you're watching Coffee Time. We do this every Monday, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion. But before we get into today's discussion, which is up on top, next where it says Coffee Time, got a channel update. So, regarding the future of the actual council, I am not leaving it, relax. It's going to be, for the next 4 months, an OCG-based channel with some TCG content. Basically means you're going to see OCG decks and duels and OCG news and everything like that. And we're going to do TCG news and TCG decks and TCG openings and all that stuff. There's no Japanese openings and stuff like that I'm not going to do. Partly because of the format, partly because of where I'm going the next 4 months. And partly because the format sucks, but everyone thinks it's great. Well, a good majority. And that's what we're going to discuss today is a TCG ban list. This is no way a rant. This is no way me just splattering words for 2 minutes about how bad it is or how I feel bad it is. Let me just say this much. The game did get slower. This is what we're discussing. I don't agree with the fact that we have 2 separate ban lists for Japan and 1 for English. I think it's kind of dumb. I'm not being mean. I really think it's kind of dumb. And I make this reference only to show what the future should have been. Pokemon is getting a worldwide release on the 12th of October. Like both games in both countries. I know it's a different system and everything like that, you know, game-wise we're talking about. But the point of the fact is, if you want to do something like that, then everything has to be together. To do it 2 separately, it's like 2 separate games now. And honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of feels like Magic the Gathering. It has its old slow pace for the TCG side. That's great. Guess what? The OCG side still has that slow pace, but we have a little bit of faster. It means like, how can I say this? Your opponent's not setting 5 and then summoning Ophion saying go. We have Heavy Storm, so that kind of just scares it away. Not that, it's really an issue. I think everything off that TCG ban list, the only card that is not justified is Heavy Storm. And if you don't agree with me with saying that, then you are one of those guys just like saying 5 and saying go. And I don't agree with that. I do agree with the fact that traps need to be played. I don't agree with the fact that there needs to be no back row hate. Meaning, and you can't pull MSC back row hate. I'm saying a +2 system. +2 for the beginners out there is basically when your opponent has 2 cards and you play Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm is normally a -1. I call it the Pursuito +2 because every card that you play is a loss of advantage. Now, if you play something that gives you advantage, that's where the plus comes in. So it'd be +1, -1, so that's a 0. That becomes a +1 because there's 2 cards there. So what ends up happening in the long run is it's a Pursuito. Pursuito meaning false +2. And that's what I don't like with this TCG format in the past few days and why I haven't really uploaded videos, because I've been testing things. I'm not gonna lie, I've been testing things for both formats. I've been doing a lot of Japanese stuff. And let me tell you, even with Trishulia one, it's a hell of a lot more fun over there. Because, and I make this reference again like with Halo and with Pokemon, you have different tiers with Pokemon, but with Halo, you have different things that can be brought into Yu-Gi-Oh! When we use terminology. And the term power weapon comes into mind when I talk about Shockmaster or Trishulia or BLS or Judgment Dragon. These are power cards. These are cards that give you advantage. Magic the Gathering has it. West Swords, Vanguard, they all have it in some sort of way. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Even Kaijudo has this. I can make references all day to every card game. Even Pokemon has it. The point is, I'm talking about the card game, not just the game. The point is the power weapon system is always there. It is the power creep. But keeping the power creep balance is probably one of the hardest things to do. And that's my cat going nuts in the back. I'm trying to get him to stop. It is one of the hardest things to do is to keep the balance. But I don't think anything's, perfectly balanced. But last format was bad. This format, the next 4 months, it's not 3, it's 4 for the TCG. I don't look forward to it. I've lost a lot of interest in buying products and stuff. I'm still going to do the uploads for the accounts. I'm still going to do the unboxings and all that stuff with Johnny and the rest of them. But it came pretty clear that basically Kevin Stewart wanted a system rotation, and you can't bring that into Yu-Gi-Oh! I mentioned this on one of the, I think it was last week's Coffee Time. about a set rotation wouldn't work. Or, no, I mentioned on the 4 Banlist year how it wouldn't work. Because of the fact of it is, Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have the structure for set rotations a year, if you want to call it a banlist anymore, the TCG side. The OCG did it right. Because, yeah, we still have a lot of problem cards. I'm not going to lie, Gold Sark was a good hit on the TCG side. Compulse, I can kind of agree with. Banlist was pointless. Dimensional Prison was pointless. Thunder King was just a marketing scheme so Bujin can actually get no side hate against them. And if you look at a lot of the tournaments, it is probably going to be the most ridiculous thing to side against. The person with the craziest, most random freaking side deck is going to win. It's about 70% of the time, if you go first, you're going to win. If you're an extremely skilled player, you can play out of it, but it's not going to be easy. And it's annoying. And it's every game is the same freaking thing over and over. Opponent sets 4, sets 2, sets 3, doesn't care, constantly sets more, and just summons little monsters and beats you up. I like the fact when games last longer, and I make this reference to Subscriber Showcase, which was the last video uploaded, which was Friday, because today is going to be 2 uploads, this and the beginner's guides. I want to get those out. But my point is, if you look at Mr. Blue Dude and the way his playstyle is, those duels last a while. We can have that with having Heavy Storm and Shockmaster and all these other things. And believe it or not, Heavy Storm is actually healthy for the game because it balances out the set for, say, go kind of thing. This whole format is not even going to be Infernities. Infernities will be up there. I'm not gonna BS you and say no, it's not gonna be up there. They're gonna be up there, but Shiny Black Sea just shuts them down. Believe it or not, it really does. This format is gonna be a lot of randomness, 1 month to the next. You're gonna see Final Countdown, Agents, Bujin, Black Wings. Trying not to leave Infernities. I'm trying not to leave anything out. Mermail to an extent. They lost a lot of power in the TCG side. The OCG side is still fun as hell to play. And the reason I say they're fun as hell, because Soul Drain just poops on the entire deck. And you can't do that TCG side. And it's not, fair. And people just don't get that. That you need that balance. Where I have a counter to stop you. Now, I do agree with some of the limits. I'm not ranting about this. We're creating a discussion, and I want to hear your guys on the TCG list. But my thing is, Card Destruction, Gateway of the Six Samurai, those are sacky cards. Limit Removal should have went too. I don't care if it's not doing anything. You want a healthy game state, that's what you do. Heavy Storm, Polyvavor, Solemn could have stayed. Shockmaster was kind of on the fence because sometimes it's just for certain decks. Keyword here, certain decks, it was a pain in the butt to play against. But then wouldn't those certain decks need limits to actually balance out why they can bring it out? Maybe that would have been the answer. Instead of 47 freaking hits, I think it was 47 on TCG list. The OCG was what, 30 at most? But a lot of those were helping promoting sales and, the game on the OCG side. The TCG side, it's just promoting new sales. If you can't see through that, well, you will soon enough, trust me. Because Bujin was just ridiculous to deal with. There's really no side deck card besides Light Prison Mirror, and that could be shut off with an MSD or Riddle the Creates really fast, but I'm not ranting about it. I just won't partake in it. A lot of you may disagree with that. That's fine. That's why we do the council, because every person that plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a different opinion or a different view on something. And that's what Coffee Time is about. That's the spirit of Coffee Time. It's to discuss these things and create a discussion pool on my thoughts so I can interact with you guys, and you guys can say, and I don't really care for it. And then you guys in the comments who see the comments can write to each other. We create this whole discussion pool that's something that is not really mentioned in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. But hey, that's my whole thing on it. But if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe. It's 10 minutes like always. And I'm Reef, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I hope you enjoyed Coffee Time, and I will see you tomorrow on Stock Market, which will be it'll be tomorrow, Thursday, because it's going to be the biggest one ever, because we're doing it every 2 weeks, and there's a lot of stuff to go over on that. But I got you guys covered. I'll see you next video. Peace.